The first time Gerald the squirrel tried to fight the moon, it was because the moon winked at him. Now, Gerald was a respectable nut-hoarding professional, and he refused to be flirted with by celestial objects. Gerald lived in Pinnacone Heights, a forest neighborhood where nothing made sense, but everyone pretended it did. The mayor was a goose named Linda who wore a power suit and hissed during budget meetings. The mail was delivered by a raccoon who openly admitted he read everyone's letters for vibes. And every Thursday, a yoga class was held by a bear who had never once stretched. On the morning this story truly began, Gerald woke up late, tripped over his emergency acorn bunker, and spilled 487 acorns down the stairs of his tree apartment. This was already a bad sign. Bad signs usually meant his day energy, even though it was a Friday outside. Chaos was gently simmering. A turtle named Bernard was attempting to roller skate downhill while yelling, "I've made peace with my choices," and immediately crashing into a hedge. A trio of pigeons were arguing about whether bread was a myth, and across the clearing stood Gerald's best friend, Penelope the possum. Penelope was hanging upside down from a branch, sipping apple juice through a straw and staring directly at the sun. "Penelope," Gerald called, adjusting his tiny backpack. "You can't stare at the sun like that." "I'm not," she replied without looking away. "I'm staring asterisk through asterisk it. It owes me money." That was Penelope. She was brave, deeply unqualified, and ran entirely on confidence and snacks. Gerald scurried over, nearly slipping on a banana peel that no one remembered placing there. "I had a dream," Gerald said, his voice hushed. "The moon told me my acorns were emotionally unavailable." Penelope gasped dramatically. "That's slander. I know. I'm thinking of suing." Before Penelope could respond, Mayor Linda the goose stomped into the clearing, flanked by two intimidating swans wearing sunglasses. "Attention, forest," Linda honked, her voice echoing through the trees due to recent events. "The annual Friendship Festival is canceled," the forest gasped collectively, like one giant organism that just dropped its phone face down. "Canceled," squeaked Gerald. "But the Friendship Festival is where I trade acorns for novelty hats, and where I win the pie-eating contest without eating pie," Penelope added proudly. Linda adjusted her tie with her beak. "The moon has filed a complaint." Everyone froze. "The moon?" Bernard the turtle asked, his head poking out from inside a bush. "Yes," Linda said, matter-of-factly. "It claims the forest has been emotionally distant and will be withholding moonlight until morale improves." Immediately, the sky dimmed slightly. Like a disappointed lamp, panic erupted. Owls bumped into trees. Fireflies unionized. A particularly dramatic deer fainted for reasons completely unrelated. Gerald felt something twist in his chest. Without moonlight, his acorns would spoil. Worse, nighttime would feel empty. Penelope dropped from the branch with a soft thump. She clapped her hands together, a determined glint in her eyes. "Well," she said, "guess it's time to emotionally confront a space rock," and so began the most unhinged road trip in forest history. The team assembled quickly. Gerald, the plaintiff, Penelope, the chief of morale, Bernard, who insisted on coming despite still wearing roller skates, and Myrtle the hedgehog, who didn't talk much but carried a ukulele for emotional emergencies. Their plan was simple. If a little absurd, climb the tallest hill, yell at the moon until it felt seen, and fix everything. Along the way, things got weird. They were chased by a squirrel conspiracy group who believed shadows were lying. They crossed a river by apologizing to it repeatedly until it seemed to calm down. They stopped for lunch and somehow lost Bernard for 3 hours, only to find him calmly having tea with a frog named Steve. As sunset painted the sky in shades of orange and purple, they finally reached the hill. The moon hung low in the sky, massive and utterly quiet. Gerald stepped forward, his tiny knees shaking. "Moon," he said, his voice small but sincere. "I'm sorry if we made you feel ignored. We just got busy. Life happened. Acorns happened." The moon didn't respond. Penelope cleared her throat and stepped up beside him. "We joke a lot, but we care. You've been there for every late night, every bad day, every what am I doing with my life moment." Myrtle softly strummed a gentle, hopeful chord on her ukulele. Bernard took off his roller skates. That's how serious this is, he declared, placing them on the ground with a thud. And then the moon finally spoke, not aloud, but as a feeling that bloomed inside each of them. A quiet, lonely thought. I just wanted to be noticed, it said. Even just once, Gerald swallowed the lump in his throat. You matter. Even when we forget to look up, in that moment, the moon brightened, just a little at first, then more, bathing the forest in a soft, forgiving glow. The Friendship Festival was reinstated. The night returned. The entire forest seemed to exhale in relief. On the walk home, no one talked much. The sky felt warmer somehow weeks later. Life went back to normal. Mostly, the mayor still hissed. Bernard still made questionable choices. And Penelope still insisted the son owed her money. But every night, before he went to sleep, Gerald paused, stepped outside his tree, and looked up. Sometimes the moon winked, and this time, Gerald winked back, because even in the most ridiculous, out-of-pocket forest imaginable, the truth remains simple. Pay attention to what quietly shows up for you. You might miss it when it's gone. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this little story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. See you next time.